And we're back on our episode of NBA 2K14. Last episode, as the Dallas defeat Golden State in the close game to stop the losing skid. 26 points and 13 assists for Stephen Curry. Klay Thompson got 25. Andre Iguodala got 21. Dirk Nowitzki got 35. Ellis got 27. And Carter got 21. And that means the Mavericks will win to stop the losing skid for the Warriors. And next game, on the other hand, we're off to Madison Square Garden in New York City as in-game music is ready to go. So we got the two of the Eastern Conference Showdown. It features Derrick Rose, Joakim Noah of the Chicago Bulls take on Carmelo Anthony and J.R. Smith of the New York Knicks. And for this game, the Bulls gonna use the red and the Knicks gonna use the white. And Battle Crowd, this is Andre Genshin. We'll be right back after this. Enjoy the video here at the Madison Square Garden in New York City. Anyways, we're sending over to Kevin Harlan here at the MSG. For now, let's get started. Enjoy the video here at the MSG in New York. Here we go.
Welcome to NBA Basketball. I'm Damon Bruce. We've got you covered here on 2K Sports. Wednesday night in the NBA. It'll be the Chicago Bulls facing off against the New York Knicks. That's all for now. Time to hand it over to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K Sports crew. I'll be back with more at halftime.
All eyes are on the Eastern Conference in this game as the New York Knicks play this one at home. We're happy to have you with us for 2K Sports midweek presentation of NBA basketball. This is Kevin Harlan with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. A quick check now at the starting five for both teams. And guys, what do you think we'll be seeing from Raymond Felton in this one?
You know, a lot of players love playing with Felton because of the way he can throw the alley-oop. Makes it look easy, but believe me, it's not easy. Throwing a precise alley-oop is kind of an art form in this league. You got to put it right on the money and anticipate when that leaper is going to get to the spot.
Right. Art form is a good way to describe it. Felton makes it look so easy, but, you know, it really is a play that requires a very good understanding between teammates as well. And sometimes I think we just forget that communication that is so necessary. You look at Chicago. A great start of the season for them, playing very well so far.
You know, looking at Chicago, boy, they've been one of the big stories of the early season so far. And for all the right reasons.
Yeah, that's right. They've been better than anybody could have predicted to this point. They don't have a lot of star power, but they play together. The pieces seem to fit. And, you know, they were flying under the radar, but all of a sudden now people are starting to recognize how good they are. Well, what a year for Melo. He just started so hot, and he kept it going throughout last season. Led the league in scoring, and I think really became the superstar that he seemed destined to become.
And here is Felton, following the three from Butler. Fires for three. Raymond Felton, that's good. Felton has got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for three.
Well, that for a response.
And we'll say they can give the three as well as they can take the three.
Rose, good. Going back to Carmelo, the superstar. Last season, his jersey sales jumped to first, Clark, in the entire NBA.
Seems like a good fit for him in New York. I mean, his star has been magnified there, but it's due to his play. I mean, he embraces the expectation. You think back to that game in April where he dropped 50 on the Heat. I think he's playing some of the best basketball of his career.
All right, let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
A short time ago, Mike Woodson and I were able to catch up. He said a big key for them will be containing Carlos Boozer offensively, adding, he's a player who can spread the floor with his jump shot or taking down the block, and it's tough to match his strength inside. Defensively, they'll look to keep length in front of him and limit his offensive rebounding. Sounds like a good game plan, guys. We'll see how they do it.
Thanks, Doris. And we've got an injury out on the floor. Very unfortunate as always, guys. Don't like to see this.
So tough to see a player go down with an injury like this.
Yeah, it really is, Steve. It's just one of those things, though. You've seen it happen before as well. And you can tell whatever it is painful for him.
Played in with a nice touch off the glass. Boozer's got his first points of the night.
What's interesting for me to watch with Mike Woodson as head coach in New York is the exciting floor spacing offense they started playing last season. In Atlanta, he'd been known for a grinded-out isolation play style, but has actually tweaked his approach a little bit, and that's been impressive.
Shot clock at 6. Anthony with the bucket.
He's got so much junk in his trunk. He'll find a way to hurt you.
Outside Butler. Fires from deep. And again, it's the Bulls from deep.
You can't leave him alone, especially from long range.
For New York, they've gotten all 5 of their shots to go down in the first quarter. Terrific start. And back to Mike Woodson, not a flashier, high-maintenance type of personality. He keeps it on the level, and I think, Steve, the players appreciate that.
Players definitely like that. He's very quiet on the sidelines, but not afraid to get in your face when necessary. And I think that's a really good temperament for a coach to have. In general, I think he's a guy who is very well respected around the league and did an excellent job with New York this season.
Passes it to Gibson. He feeds it to Heinrich. And some nice ball movement here by Chicago. And the shot is good.
The defense sagged off, and, he did not hesitate to rise up and bury that 3.
And the Knicks decide to take their first time out here. Victory eluded them last time in Chicago when they faced the Bulls.
It was not a very inspired performance for them, particularly defensively. I thought, they gave the hostile crowd a lot to cheer about, frankly.
Yeah, they allowed a lot of free runs to the hoop, a lot of open jumpers, and in the end, the opponent's shooting percentage was right through the roof, and you can't win when that's the case. One of the more compelling postseason stories, the question about when the Bulls would bring Derrick Rose back just continued to hover around the playoffs. Ultimately, just never happened.
Nice pass. That one was right on target.
Here's Brignoni. Caught. Teague with the ball. Now guarded by Brignoni. Outside Teague. And the Bulls, another 3. Well, back to the Bulls, and even without Rose, I think the team made a big statement, Steve, with how they played in the postseason. They showed that they weren't just a one-man show with Rose running things, and have a solid core and system that will always compete.
Well, it's the second straight year that the Bulls have essentially been without Rose in their playoff run due to injury. And so I think Chicago fans are kind of wondering what exactly the roof is for this team, the ceiling, if you will. Let's hope that Rose stays healthy this year, so we'll find out.
Here's Brignoni after Marcus Teague's bucket. And World Peace kicks to Brignoni. And the Knicks hit again from deep.
Boy, has there been any defense played yet in this game?
Nope, this game has been all about rapid-fire offense early.
Dishes it to Gibson. Outside Teague. The pass to Heinrich. Smooth as silk on the finger roll. Heinrich's got 5 now.
Wow, just a tremendous first quarter shooting the basketball for them, guys.
Yeah, when they put it up, it's going in.
Out to Shumpert from the arc. And again, New York with the triple.
Great interplay there between those two teammates.
The feed now to Heinrich. Snell, a 3 ball. And the rebound goes to Martin. World Peace dishes to Brignoni. Here's Teague. Offense. The order of the day as the first quarter comes to a close. Bulls lead by 5. Let's take a quick break now, and then it's on to the second quarter after this.
Sunday, December 15th. Anthony Davis and the New Orleans Pelicans take on the Denver Nuggets. Big-time hoops coming your way.
All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. And let's take a moment, guys, to get your take on the scoring so far for the Bulls.
Well, they've definitely had the hot hand from the three-point line so far. Always nice to start out like that.
They've established their presence in the paint tonight. Also, a lot of their scoring to this point coming from down low.
And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Here's the second quarter of play. Setting the floor for the Knicks. We've got J.R. Smith. Bargnani is out there with Stoudemire. And it's Udrich. And it's Hardaway in at the two-guard spot.
I think when you look at Derrick Rose, fellas, the most intimidating thing about him is his elite speed. But you also have to consider his style. He's well put together, about 6'3", maybe just a shade over 200 pounds. He is a handful when he's coming at you fast with that strong body and explosiveness. Talk about doing a Rip Van Winkle on defense. Come on, guys, wake up. Why are they leaving him open at the three-point line? Come on.
Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris.
There's no doubting, guys, that point guard Derrick Rose is the toast of his hometown of Chicago. But Rose has never been the type to court that kind of attention, preferring to keep his head down. He said, quote, "My whole life, I was always the one everyone was talking about. I've never really wanted the attention, but it has always been there. And the better I play, the more attention I get. But I hate attention. It's weird. I'm in a bind." Kevin, back to you.
Yeah, he's a piece of work, isn't he? Thank you, Doris. Hey, Clark, you mentioned the size of Derrick Rose. 6'3", not just a speedster, but the combination of quickness and power. I've always thought this. He goes in there, and he would be a very tough guy to try to stop, but he's got a foot of speed.
No question.
Wow.
He's coming at you with that burst and the strength. That's why he's so overpowering as a point guard.
And we're a little over a minute and a half into the second quarter of action. Here's Udrich. He's covered by Rose. Bargnani against Noah. And Udrich kicks to Smith. That's good. That's Udrich with the assist that time. Smith's got 5 points.
And they're getting their points now almost exclusively from the three-point line. That's 4 of the last 5. You got to run those guys off the line.
I agree, and the defense is practically giving them those shots, though.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any agenda.
It's hard to overstate all the points they've scored on assists today. Beautiful to watch.
And Udrich kicks to Hardaway. He passes it to Bargnani. And again, New York with the triple.
Back-to-back threes for them. The defense is slacking off a little.
It does look like their energy is lacking at this point.
A lot of high hopes for the Knicks in last year's playoffs. They started off so hot, but then let the series against Boston drag on, and eventually went to 7 games, and they fell to the Pacers in the second round after that.
Well, offensively, he's taken a solid opening quarter and just built on it here in the second.
And Udrich kicks to Smith. The feather touch on the finger roll. Beautiful. Smith's got his 3rd basket of the night right there.
Oh, he's explosive, Kevin. And a lot of time, all it takes is a basket or two to really get his motor running. And suddenly, he becomes almost impossible to handle.
And something else everybody loves about him is his ability to do the sensational and spectacular. His dunks simply defy description at times.
So, Chicago going with an almost entirely new group here. Well, small forwards that can rebound the ball, such an asset to any team in the NBA. With now a look at the top rebounding wingman. 3rd is Bernard.
Man, that was unreal. Mark it up. Forget about going for the long-range bomb to cut into that lead. Take it to the hoop, my friend. Take it to the hoop.
And how Clark, brilliant throwdown.
Yeah, just exerting his authority out there.
In his return to New York, I tell you, Raymond Felton looked to have his best season yet as a pro. He came in and made plays and filled the void left at the point guard spot for the Knicks.
So so nice to have a guy like that who can take charge at any time.
Yeah, so many of his passes, Steve, have led directly to baskets.
Stoudemire with the bucket.
Look at the combination of size and touch. That's why he's a great finisher down low.
Denver felt, I guess, just something in the water in New York. Stevie, he's played his best basketball in the big city.
Yeah, he had a good run there several years back before he was traded to Denver as part of that Carmelo Anthony trade. And now that he's back in New York, Felton once again having a terrific impact on that team.
And slam dunk by Shuffle.
Really hard to decide, guys, which was better. Or the slam.
Clark, there's no wrong answer to that one, my friend. Sensational alley-oop all the way around.
Agreed. All of the above.
Rose kicks to Heinrich. Back to Rose. Shot's good. Rose has got 15 points.
He has really put his foot on the pedal this quarter, doing a tremendous job leading their offense.
And here's Felton from the arc. And again, New York with the triple. 26 seconds left to play here in the second quarter. Rose kicks to Heinrich. It's good. This time the assist from Rose. Heinrich's got 6 here in this quarter.
They're relying on their three-point shooting and getting pretty good results right now.
Yeah. In fact, 3 of the last 5 makes are from beyond the arc.
He kicks to Carmelo. Gets it to go. 8 points for him. Now here's Rose. Poked away. Chandler with the steal. And so we conclude the first half. Bulls out front, up by 8. And get ready now for the Sprint Halftime Show with Damon Bruce. The second half will be coming up right after that on 2K Sports.
Now, presented by Sprint. Glad you're along for the ride as we get set to bring you the halftime show. The NBA season beginning to take shape. Chicago with the lead against New York. They're off to a hot start this season. They'd like to continue that hot streak in this game. We've seen Derrick Rose scoring effortlessly against the Knicks. How's that for a shooting percentage? 100. Yes, 100% from the court. Not too bad. And a resilient Knicks team staying in it. Wiping the glass defensively. Look, no streaks. They're preventing any second chance opportunities. Raymond Felton has been productive. He's got 6 points and he's stacking up the assists too, keeping the defense off balance with his passing. And now, let's check out the other games still going on. Detroit up on top against the Pelicans at New Orleans Arena, up by 7 in the fourth. And another one also in progress, the Utah Jazz trailing Sacramento out in Sacramento. Looking at a double-digit deficit here in the first quarter. That's not where you want to be. And to look now at the rest of the action from around the NBA. The Bucks have the lead out in Milwaukee against the Spurs. Not a lot left to be decided there. A big advantage for them in the fourth quarter. And that'll wrap things up for me here in the studio. Second half is just around the corner. Thanks so much for stopping by.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And welcome back to New York City as we look at an enchanting view of Lady Liberty.
Guys, how about the Bulls being able to nab the 5th seed in the East last season, in large part due to how they were able to play on the road. Of course, when you play tough, solid defense like they do, it makes it easier to be competitive and string together road wins.
Here's who Tom Thibodeau is starting the second half with. Dang and Boozer, they make up the forwards. D. Rose and Jimmy Butler, the back. And it's Noah. Let's go down to the sideline and catch up with Doris Burke. Hey, Doris.
Gentlemen, last season it seemed there was a little back and forth between head coach Tom Thibodeau and the Bulls front office regarding the big minutes he gave his starters. Thibodeau said, quote, "It's never the right amount of minutes. That's the only thing I know. If a guy's not playing big minutes, it's not enough minutes. And if a guy's playing big minutes, it's too many minutes. So you play to win. That's the whole thing. And when you're a young team, guys can handle minutes. But guys, both Dang and Noah missed significant time. Noah only playing 66 games in the regular season. Dang out through the last 7 games of the playoffs. You wonder if maybe they have a point.
They've worked to round out the roster. That should help those minutes stay down. And for the Bulls, defense is one of the few things in the NBA that can neutralize a home court advantage. And Steve, a big part of why they had the success they had on the road.
Yeah, they went 21-20 away from the United Center, and one of only 5 teams in the entire East who managed to stay above 500 away from home. That's a real tribute to this team and the coaching staff.
Nice shot by Phelps. And we may have an injury here. That does not look good.
No, this is the last thing you ever want to see at a game.
You know, at this point, we can just knock on wood, say a prayer, and wish him the best.
Kirk Heinrich, he's checked in for Derrick Rose. And that one's good by Noah.
That's 4 straight from the field, guys. Off to a quick start this third quarter.
Tyson Chandler, first-time All-Star last season. His 12th season in the league. This is a guy that came right out of high school. It was a long time coming for him, but certainly that All-Star berth well-deserved.
Here's Anthony, and Cruiser with the block. And here we go, the Bulls fast break. Wow, and that sort of showmanship is just deflating right. Now to a team trying Clark to get back into this game like this.
Yeah, definitely a jam with emphasis. A big apostrophe or exclamation point. How about maybe even a question mark?
Well, you know what the questions are about now? It's their defense, that's for sure.
Then kicks to Heinrich. And they're going to count the bucket and send him to the line. It could be a three-point play.
And that's 10 straight points in the paint. I mean, defensively, the wind has just been knocked out of their sails.
Need to get more bodies committed down low.
Looking at who's out there now for the Knicks. Kenyon Martin, he's checked in for Chandler. World Peace comes in for Morris Donovan.
Guys, he shot a very good percentage today, and they need it.
Last game for the Bulls, they picked up the W against Milwaukee.
And I thought, guys, they were the beneficiary of what was some lackluster defense being played against them.
I agree with you. I mean, it was really shocking how many free runs to the hoop they got.
Tyson Chandler, he's checked in for Carmelo Anthony. Good on the shot. Heinrich's got 16 points.
Perfect inbounds pass and an easy 2 points.
Well, for so long, the Knicks have been the punchline of the Eastern Conference the last decade. Poorly managed contracts and questionable trades really kept them from rising to the top in the East. But once again now, they look like a powerhouse.
Just over 2.5 minutes gone by here in the second half. The finger roll finish at the bucket.
Well, I tell you what, when you get this kind of effort and efficiency from him, they're a really hard team to beat.
Smith with it. He's picked up by Heinrich. Smith kicks to World Peace. And out of bounds as the Bulls gain possession. And Clark, you were right. The Knicks were a powerhouse last season. Steve, 37 wins against the rest of the conference, and they just would dominate other teams at times.
Well, they're a team that doesn't really want to run a lot or force tempo. They just kind of want to get you in the half court. They don't turn the ball over, and they bury you from long range. So they found their identity last year and really dominated in that Eastern Conference.
One of the reasons they're behind is because we haven't seen enough of that. He needs to become a bigger part of the offense.
Kicks it to deep. From deep. Here's Boozer. Lays it in without an inch of room around him. Boozer's got his second basket.
Well, I tell you what, I need to see some more assertiveness out of these defenders. They're not getting the job done.
Yeah, that's 10 of the last 12 points they've allowed on good looks right at the rim.
Shumpert passes to Felton. And again, New York with the triple.
I tell you what, it's hard to argue with the records for Coach Tom Thibodeau of the Bulls, but the rumor mill has it the front office hasn't been happy with how hard he's ridden his top players. Luol Deng missed time last season with the hamstring injury. Joakim Noah came down with plantar fasciitis. Hey, those things happen, and I'm not quite sure you could put that at the feet of Tom Thibodeau.
Derrick Rose is checked in for Marcus T. And this group gives us a second look at the shooting guards leading their position in steals over the last 10 games. You look at Butler, 5th in the NBA, very crafty player.
And both the hand speed and general quickness of the players on that list are outstanding. And those are the qualities you need to be an effective perimeter defender.
Well, the two-guard position is where we often find a team's best defender, and that's definitely the case with these guys. Every one of their teams leans on them heavily at the defensive end.
And going back to Tom Thibodeau and that minutes load on his stars, it seems it's getting harder for players to weather big minute speed these days.
I think it's going to be really interesting going forward to see this Bulls team this year and beyond. Will that wear them down? Their guys play too many minutes. They've had a lot of injuries. I think it's time to scale back a little bit on the minutes played.
Deflected. It's stolen by Iman Shumpert. We've got a 9-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock, and they're able to recover. And Udrih gets it to go.
You see that they're not as aggressive from the three-point line. They had far more attempts in the first half.
Here's Rose. Again, Chicago.
You got to like his shot selection today. He set a good example for the rest of his teammates.
Felton against Butler. And Udrih kicks to Shumpert. Feeds it to Chandler. And that one's good. Chandler's got 9.
Great looking bounce pass to set up that play.
7 seconds left to play in the third. Here's Butler. It's good, and he drew contact on the shot, so he will go to the line. A three-point play chance here. And the Bulls making a change here. First trip to the free throw line for him tonight.
Well, you got to admire what he's been able to do with the free throw line this season, shooting better than 90% from the stripe.
You know, one thing about getting going at the free throw line like he has this season, it can continue to carry over.
And here at the end of the third quarter, it's a double-digit ball game. Bulls lead by 16. We're going to step aside for just a second, but join us right back here for the start of the fourth quarter. Next.
On tap next Monday, December 16th, the Detroit Pistons go up against Paul George and the Indiana Pacers. Live from Indianapolis. Hoops action.
And we're rolling here again with the fourth quarter. Might not come down to the wire, but you never know. And guys, what do you think about the offensive approach we've seen so far for the Bulls?
Well, the great passing we saw in the first half has carried right over into the second.
They've really been on fire from beyond the arc tonight, too. I mean, a lot of their points have come from out there.
Out of the wings, it's the feisty pair of Melo and Shumpert. Little Cruz is out there with Stoudemire. Then it's Felton in at the 1 spot. That's the 5 for New York right now. Noah with the block. They get it back. Stoudemire, and that is good.
And I'll say this about him, Kevin. I mean, it looks like he's made of rubber sometimes because defenders just bounce off him when he's driving the lane. What a finisher.
Another area where he excels. from one of the most fundamental plays in basketball, the pick and roll. He will lower the boom on the defender with a solid screen and then is terrific at rolling into space and getting the basket.
Out to Anthony. Two-handed jam.
Now that's finishing your work right there.
Powerful two-hand jam.
He's got a few more of those in him. This lead will really start shrinking.
Heinrich kicks to Rose. Good, and Heinrich gets the assist. Heinrich's got his 4th assist in this one.
He's their go-to guy, and when he shoots the ball like he has today, that's what the scoreboard usually looks like.
And that one's good, Shumpert.
A wide-open three. They need much better communication defensively.
I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Thanks, Kevin. Tom Thibodeau had some words for his team in that last huddle. He was absolutely adamant, saying, don't let them off the hook. Let's keep our foot on the pedal and keep doing the things that have gotten us here this far. We're almost home.
Tyson Chandler, who's checked in for New York.
Boy, his performance from long range has been incredible.
I know that was your shot, Steve, and today it's his too.
And that one's good, Anthony.
You know, he got to make earn those threes. Once you play off of him, he's automatic from that distance.
Rose dishes to Gibson. It's stolen by Anthony. Makes the lead pass. Here's Shumpert. And there are the Knicks with another bucket.
Boy, the deeper we get into this game, the more offense we're seeing.
And that goes for both teams, Steve. Everybody firing on all cylinders right now.
Rose passes to Heinrich. Snell back to Heinrich. Another three for Chicago.
Boy, he's putting up big numbers in that three-point column, guys.
With the New York. Knicks, they come in off the loss to Cleveland.
I thought overall, Kevin, it was mostly defensive effort. No energy, no purpose.
Steve, I thought they were late on their rotations. They didn't really communicate well, and as a result, they paid for it. Boy, did they ever make a mess out of that one. A terrible turnover.
For those just joining us, 4th quarter here. We're just over 2.5 minutes into it. New York calls timeout.
Yeah, they were getting winded. Good call here to give them a quick breather.
Walt Bang is checked in for the Bulls. Jimmy Butler comes in for Kirk Heinrich. And over 2.5 minutes in the books here in the 4th. He lobs up the alley-oop pass. And the jam by Stoudemire.
A little bit of a magic act here, pulling off the... Houdini to make that catch and slam.
Stupendous alley-oop.
This crowd just stunned at the sight of that one.
Here's Rose. And he drops in the layup off the glass. Rose has got 14 points here in the second half.
I like the way they've played here in the first half. Just an intelligent floor game, getting good shots.
The numbers certainly back that up. They're shooting a much better percentage.
Butler with the block. Blanketed by the D. He fights to the rim for the layup. Butler's got 20.
Well, I tell you what, he's having one of those days where if he takes it, he makes it.
Felton goes in, and Luau gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul.
Yeah, he had not established position.
You know, I prefer the refs to whistle with a block when in doubt. I thought that was a good call there.
The Knicks making a switch here. Smith is checked in. It's stolen by Dang. There's the lob to the hoop. Stolen away. Nice job to interrupt the alley-oop attempt there. And it's out of bounds to the Knicks as New York retains possession.
Now, that pass had just a little bit too much heat on it for him to make a clean steal.
Yeah, I think it would have been a tough catch for either of them.
Smith for three, and yes, sir, that one drops.
That's his second three-point of the half and his third overall.
Noah kicks to Dane. Back to Noah. Chandler with the steal. And now the Knicks on the break. Anthony leading the charge.
Boy, their defense making an impact here late, Kevin.
And straight off the steal. The perfectly run fast break ends in a slam dunk.
That could be a huge 4-point swing in this game.
On its way from Rose for two, and it's good off the back rim and in. Rose has got 31. 59 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Stoudemire dishes to Chandler, and it's out of bounds for the Knicks as New York retains possession. .54 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Stolen by Noah. Outside Rose. On the wing, Dang. That's the free fly. Yes, and it's Rose with the assist that time.
And, guys, Deng has developed into a very good shooter, especially off spot-ups or maybe one-dribble pull-ups. He's got range. He's developed that out to the three-point line. But he really likes to go to that mid-range area. One or two dribbles into the paint, he'll rise up, shoot right over the top.
But you know what I like about him most, Steve? Dang is a very well-balanced player. He does a lot of good things offensively, but he's just as good at the defensive end. He's a big key to his team's tough defense.
Now Rose. And so Chicago takes this one, and by a big margin. How much to be critical of with this win, Clark?
Not at all. I mean, they showed up not just to play. They showed up to give great effort and to win, and they did both.
Well, it's time to say so long. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan along with our 2K Sports crew thanking you for tuning in. Now it's time to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Derrick Rose.
So it looks like we wrap up here as the Chicago Bulls take down New York Knicks. A huge dominated by 12, 109 to 97. OJ Mayo got hurt for certain knee. Chalmers got flu. Everyone's got injured. We're healing now. So let's check out and see the view box score here. Jared Smith got 18. Carmelo Anthony got 17. Stoudemire got 12. And Derrick Rose got 33, Henry got 24, and Butler got 20. Win for Chicago Bulls and a huge dominated over the Knicks. And let's check what's going on here. So next game on our hand, we're off. We are heading to first game of the day. We heads to Portland, Oregon. We got a two of the West matchups. That's gonna be Dwight Howard and James Harden of the Houston Rockets take on Marcus Aldridge and Damian Lillard of the Portland Trail Blazers. In the second game, there's no Darren Williams will be out due to the broken ankle. Blake Griffin and Chris Paul of the Los Angeles Clippers take on Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett of the Brooklyn Nets. This is gonna be a good game now here. In the first game, it's gonna be a good matchup. So that'll do it for now. This is Andre Kenshin as they Knicks win the series over the Pistons in 6 games to advance to the second round. Defeat to win this series over the Pistons 4 games to 2 as the Knicks will move on, led by Jalen Brunson. Hit the game-winning shot, cold-blooded. And on the other hand, the Nuggets and the Clippers will have a Game 7 here in Ball Arena. It's gonna be a good game now. So the first game on our hand, we're off to Moda Center in Portland. First game of the day here, Rose Garden in Portland. First game will be Rose Garden in Portland. It is gonna be Dwight Howard and James Harden of the Houston Rockets take on Damian Lillard and Marcus Aldridge of the Portland Trail Blazers. And then followed by the second game of the day, hits to Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Features Chris Paul and Blake Griffin of the Los Angeles Clippers take on Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett of the Brooklyn Nets. And that'll do it for now. This is Andre Kenshin as the Bulls dominate the Knicks by 12, 109-97. I'm Andre Kenshin. Say solo for Barclays Center in Brooklyn. And I will see you tomorrow for another doubleheader. We're heads to Rose Garden and Brooklyn as well. It's gonna be the Rockets and the Blazers, and followed by the Clippers and the Nets. Once again, this is Andre Kenshin say solo for Madison Square Garden in New York City. We'll see you tomorrow for the another doubleheader for the Rockets and Blazers, and then the Clippers and Nets. Sign out and peace out. Good night, and reminder, we'll have another doubleheader for you. We are going to Rose Garden and then Barclays Center for the Rockets, Blazers, and the Clippers Nets. Sign up and peace out. Good night, and thanks for watching.